But I hope you voted for me or something.
Well, this is pretty good. What's up, my family? How you guys doing today? It was about 10 years ago. And I thought, I was like, wow, we've all aged. I know, and it's like, I think it's like every decade. Like, because 20 years ago, I was in Preston, Idaho, working on a film. And I remember my first day on set, and I went to base camp and stole wardrobe, and this guy shows up. And he's got a big fro, big glasses, and blue boots. He's like, are you Pedro? And I'm like going, what kind of movie did I say yes to? I should have done the Alamo instead. And then I turned around like, it's okay, calm down, you're gonna be alright. And I turn around, and this is guy with these shorts and little shoes. He's like, that's kind of nice, though. Oh my god. But after I saw Wanda and Uncle Rico, and Grandma, and I thought like maybe I'm a part of this rambunctious gang and we're gonna be a part of something special. So, greetings, Earthlings. Who was here yesterday? I myself, I'm a hardcore geek and hardcore nerd. I'm like, well, the Lord of the Rings, the Twilight, I'm a vampire, Pedro. And then next thing you know, Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon, and then I'm like, Mel Gibson. I'm like, what is the weapon? Greetings. So, since I was little, just knowing the fact that I could be a part of something, part of a community that cares about art, music, film, and comic books. And I'm like, I see all of you, and I'm home.
And we're so glad you're part of our community. It's so fun when we get to meet a celebrity that's just like us, right? So, we'll talk about it. It's been 20 years since this majestic movie came out. And I have to know, how many people are actually wearing this shirt today? Yeah.
Thanks, family.
So, in the past 20 years, what is the line that you hear the most said to you from Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh my gosh. Because the movie is so quotable. Every single character has a line. I mean, like you got Kip, and one of my favorites. Is this the kind of vest I can wear? So, Napoleon, get on Facebook tag. It's like, there's so many, and Pedro, me, somebody had my phone number, and she ended up losing her phone somehow. And so, and she stored my name, my number as Pedro Sanchez. So people were calling me up going, is Pedro there? I'm like, dude. Yes, he is, that's me. So, I mean, and for like 20 years, everywhere I go in the world, people would say, hey, vote for me or something. I'm like, or the best one is, hey, now that you're president, my wildest dreams haven't come true yet. Okay. So, and then we'll start off. I will tell you guys, all of you guys. John Heater at Premiere. Because he's, I mean, we're all artists, and I will say that after Napoleon Dynamite, everyone's lives changed. We started to work so much more as actors, and we started to go, this is our dream, and it's actually becoming a reality. And so I told my brother, I said, hey, this is the word. And if you hear it, cool. If you're not, and he's probably on a plane right now going, oh, what the flip? I'm not there yet. I'm in spirit. But he will be here. In case you're wondering, you're like, where's Napoleon? Gosh, why are we here? Gosh. So worry not, my fine feathered friends.
He's probably out catching a delicious bath.
He's a president. He's like, oh, the bus isn't here yet.
Let's get started with some random questions. I'll wait for our brother John.
Hi.
Yes.
So my uncle was the one who shot, my great uncle was the one who shot the cow. So do you have any
It was actually the stunt cow, by the way.
My family wants to know if you have any good memories with the Elbridge one. Who was the one? Who was the one who shot the cow?
Lyle the farmer. I mean, he was the only actor in the film who improvised all his lines. It's you gotta remember that this film, like every third character in the movie is actually from Preston, Idaho. So, yeah, right? Any Prestonites here? Yeah. Big shout out to you guys. And so, like, they're like, well, who do we get Lyle the farmer? Well, let's get, someone who fits that. Let's just get the official and hire him. And the director said, okay, like for instance, if you've seen the movie, and for most of you, if you don't know, like after the credits is a big wedding scene, right? And so he actually is giving the vows to Kit and LaFonda as he's marrying them. And so the director's like, well, what would you say to them if, as like a passing rights to getting married? And he just started to talk away, and the camera started to roll. And that was it. There's that moment when he goes, when he's shooting the cow. He says, "Ain't no such thing." It really was, because they normally, when you're shooting a cow, you really don't use that kind of gun. But that's the only thing we had. We were so low budget, and so he was telling the director, well, this is not the kind of gun you use. And we just kept that perfect cut. God love his soul, because the rumor was I did hear that he had been struck by lightning. Was that? I want to confirm. Was it ever true?
I have no clue. I should know this, but I don't.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he was the diamond in the cut for us because he was the core of what life mattered. So thank you guys for the question.
So I just wanted to ask, how did this movie just like affect you as an actor? Do you think it like overshadowed other movies later on, or?
Well, okay, it's funny because when I'm here with, sometimes I'm with John Heater and with John Grice, who played Uncle Rico, and we become the Three Stooges on stage, and we talk about our history in filming. I mean, Uncle Rico has been in Monster Squad. He was in Laszlo, the Real Genius, a character actor, and John Heater, the genius, who did all the drawings in Napoleon Dynamite, mind you. I will say. Do you know that moment when I'm running for election as president, and you see, you hear the 18 song, and you see those images of me riding a dragon, right? Literally, Jared Hess, he said, well, we don't have like an image, and he was like, don't worry, I got your back. drew that in 10 minutes, and they copied it and they posted it everywhere. And I'm like, wow, he does have skill. He is known for his skills in that shit. But at the time, before Napoleon Dynamite, I was working on a TV show called Even Stevens. Do you know that? And so my agent called me up at the time and said, hey, listen, you have an audition for a big feature film. And the first film was called The Alamo, right? It was a big studio picture, and I thought, okay, great. And then at the same time, they called me up and said, hey, listen, you also have an audition for a film called Napoleon Dynamite. And at the time, I wasn't able to get a hold of the script, just pages from the script. And I thought, okay, so when I read the scene, I went, what is this? Who builds a cake? So I had no idea. And there was a moment when I thought, like, okay, I'm just gonna raid my father's closet and put on his clothes. And then I took the bus and I went to the audition. And I was doing my third scene, and his mom giving my speech. And I go, well, I don't know how much to say, but I hope the people. And the director goes, stop. Slower. And I thought, okay, maybe it's a little nervous. Okay. Well, I don't have much to say, but I hope that you stop. Slower. And that's what I go, does Pedro have a condition? So, I go, okay. And I'm like, man, I don't have much to say, but I hope that people vote for me or something. Yeah. And I wish it was like that. But at the moment, after I said my speech, they were all quiet. And then the director said, he goes, thank you. And they went, thanks. And then I laughed, and I had to take the bus again, and I'm like, well, that was kind of nice. So, but at the time, my agent called me up and he said, congratulations, look, you just booked The Alamo. But we have a problem. I said, what's that? You know, you also booked Napoleon Dynamite. And they work at the same time. And my father at the time told me, he goes, you know what? Follow your heart. That's what I would do. And I went, wait, that's what Napoleon said to Pedro! I said, are you auditioning too? They were kind of about that shit. So, and I thought, okay. So I took on this role, I'm playing a character role and a lead role, you know, along with these guys who are just trusting not only the community that they're in, but trusting the work that they do. And I learned something from that because I myself was nervous. But the fact that I was able to be on set with an actor like Jonathan Bryce, who's such a brilliant character actor, who gave me great advice to trust those characters, trust the work that we do. And so that is what you see. And the only reason why I exist is because I was able to work freely with John Heder as Napoleon, Uncle Rico, John Bryce, Alfana, Kip, and you know, Tina Majorino as Deb, and someone really, oh my love. and so after the movie came out, there were roles that were offered to me that were quite the same character. And my manager said, we're gonna say no to this. I go, why? It's work. And he said, because you gotta prove to the studios that you can act. I thought, okay. So I started to I did a film called Employee of the Month. Did you guys see that? Yeah. Employee of the Month, and at that time, I think John Heder was doing Blades of Glory. And so, at that time, and after Employee of the Month, I did a film called Crank, really intense film, with Jason Statham was a English action star. And then I did Walk Out, and then I did Castaneda Padre, Eastbound and Down. So I started to work a lot more as an actor. And you have two choices. You can be a celebrity and just work on the fame, or be an artist. But to be an artist is to be able to do Shakespeare on stage, to be able to talk about Tennessee Williams, David Mamet, Clifford Odets, you know, to work with playwrights and do theater on stage. And I started to, those are my dreams. Believe me, look, when I was at the Sundance Film Festival, right, my first year I was so excited because I'm like, okay, we were passing out buttons saying vote for Pedro and vote for Summer. I was like, hey, vote for me. And they're like, who is this clown? Get out of here. But then they found out about Napoleon Dynamite and they started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So the second year when I went, I met actors like Jack Nicholson, Benicio del Toro, Daniel Day-Lewis, Steve Buscemi, Catherine Keener, and Catherine O'Hara, and they were all just telling me and giving me great advice about acting. We are artists. We, as human beings, we care about something that will move us so much that makes us change the way we think, open our minds and open our hearts. And for me, if I can live and express myself through art, through stories and through characters, then I've done my job. So I appreciate every single moment in my life.
My question is, what's your favorite scene to film?
Gosh. I guess we can start off with what's my favorite scene not to film. It was the last day of on the set where I had to shave my head.
Oh, yeah.
We shot that on, you know what film is? Right? It's on digital now, right? So, but we shot that on film, and when I was shaving my head, I thought maybe I could give myself a mohawk like Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. I wanted to look cool, and I was like, and the camera kept on rolling, and I said, well, here goes nothing. So I shaved my head, and by the time we were done, I had like little wisps of hair sticking out of my head. I looked like Frankenstein's monster. You know, and then when I saw my agents, they were like, you shaved your head. And I went, wait a minute, didn't you guys read the script? So, but my favorite scene, golly, maybe, I don't know, maybe because of this, Pedro was so apprehensive, and he always tried to lead with, okay. Makes me so sad. It was that moment when, after Napoleon Dynamite does his dance, because there was no words, and it was just me reacting off of the crowd and Napoleon's dance, which I had never seen. But Jared Hess was so specific, and he really knew how to color my imagination. And when he wrote the cameraman, that was that moment because I appreciated all the things that Napoleon did for me, for Pedro. You know, and I felt that the people, the audience, understood what we were trying to do. And that was such a touching moment for me. The other scene that is my favorite scene that I'm not in is the moment when John Heater, Napoleon, and Kip, and Uncle Ringo are doing the time machine. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a moment when he's getting shot, and the camera cuts back to Kip, and he's like all excited about him getting hurt. What kind of family is this? You know, and to add to that, the Kip's actual brother ordered a time machine in real life, and he used his parents' PayPal account, so he could get it, and it cost him about like $600 or $700, and it came with crystals and actual currency for the actual time they want to go back in time. He actually thought they wouldn't go back in time. Needless to say, it did not work. So a lot of the stories in the movie really did occur, you know. So to me, it's just like lightning in a bottle that every single scene is special. You know, from kid going backwards and crushing that Tupperware and just, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. He was like, all right. So, or that moment we're on the bike. Or that moment when we're on the bike. And I'm like, okay, so we're on the bike. You know, and Uncle Rico used to play baseball, and so...
Football.
Yeah, no, I know, but no, well, the actor used to play baseball, so he's really good at throwing stuff. That's just how he is. So, and there's a moment when Uncle Rico was throwing the steak, and he would hit John Heater on the leg and the shoulder, and John was like, just hit me in the face, gosh! And Uncle Rico was like, all right, Napoleon. So he went to this kid, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna need a bigger piece of meat. You watch these. So, I'm in the back of the bike, I'm going, is this really gonna happen? I'm like, oh, this movie really is independent. So there we go. All right, action, Pedro, action, sledgehammer, action, sledgehammer. Hurry. So, and we're riding along, and that thing was so huge. He chucked it so hard. He smacked it so hard in the face. You know, cut his nose, bruised his nose. His glasses went flying, and I was supposed to stay in the scene. But I was like, oh my god! And I was like, all I could do was go. I better go. And then you can see John H. I was like, cool! My gosh, this movie is epic! So that's just a question. Thank you. Bye.
My question is, what was your favorite memory from being on set?
I think even after 20 years, listen, we were literally at Sundance this past January for the 20th anniversary of Napoleon Dynamite, and we saw some of the cast members, some of the crew members, and it's amazing to see that even after 20 years, we are still family. We still have that connection. Even with Trevor Snar, who's here, I believe, and Emily Dunn. Trisha, you know, finish that shade in your upper lip. So, because when we were shooting this film, all we had was each other. That was that. You know, once we were, in Preston, Idaho, it's about 105 in the summertime. We're like, do you think it's kind of warm in here? All we had was each other. So once we were done, and I don't know if you guys have been in Preston, Idaho. You're like, hey, how's it going? Right, cool. We would spend time with each other, but we were doing something that meant something. And we were, at the very end of every scene, we would start quoting the lines ourselves, and we thought like, oh, that would be pretty nice if they made little dolls of us. So, you know, and then it just changed for us, for all of us. And, you know, remember, you know, for the artists out there, you guys always have to remember that Jared Hess was only 22 years old, 23 years old when he did this movie. Yeah, he took that chance, along with his friends. They were just creating and hoping that something was going to come out. And when he shopped it around to different studios, everyone said no. So, in life, whatever you want to be in your life, whatever you want to do, you may hear a lot of no's, but you know what? All you need is one yes. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Tony, and
Hey, Tony.
we missed you at the Napoleon Dynamite Festival this past July. It was such a fun town. The whole downtown was so involved. The city council were volunteering, so hopefully you can make it next time. but
I was doing theater at the time. Yes.
My question is, I love it when I hear actors where they actually they include something in the movie that they kind of came up with. Is there any ad-lib or something that you did just off the wall and they put it in the movie?
I wish I could say that I did, but Jared and Jerusha Hess were the creators of not only the film, but they wrote it. They wrote what they knew because Jared wrote in Preston. He lived in Preston, Idaho. The lama's name is Dolly, hence the Dalai Lama. It belongs to Jared, the director's mom, and her name is Christmas. Go figure. So, but all the genius was and is in the writing. And I was able just to honor those characters. I mean, when Jared would give us some direction, he would play an idea of the character. Again, if you have the DVD, in the DVD you have this short film in black and white called Peluca, which means wig in Spanish. And there were two characters for Pedro. There's Pedro and his cousin named Gail. And so when my first day on set, the director showed me the short video, the short film, and he told me, you see those two characters? I want you to make them into one. And I'm like, no problem. What? But all the genius is all in the script, and we just live through those characters. So even Starla. So yes.
So I just want to shout out Jorge for Employee of the Month. I love that movie.
Thanks, Home Slice.
Yeah. But I kind of have a two-part question. So, what kind of things do you like to do in your downtime? Are you still doing any DJing stuff? And then also, do you have any upcoming projects you're working on that you can tell us anything about that you're able to talk about?
There's two movies that I cannot talk about. Are we on camera? Oh, yes, we are. Never mind. I can't talk about that. Okay. For those of you, I feel like I go back into Napoleon because I just love that character so much. Keep it sweet. So before Napoleon Dynamite, I used to do a lot of rave events in Los Angeles. I was a DJ, and that would pay for my acting classes. So, and I had a rave company, and it was great. It was fun. My older brothers were DJs, and they taught me how to mix. And so, after Napoleon Dynamite, I became much more of a celebrity DJ. And so, the club people were like, "So, who's DJing tonight?" "Pedro." "What are they gonna play?" "Hello, here's my skill on the wheels of steel," or something. So yes, I still DJ all over the world, and it's amazing to see, because even around the world, there's so many fans of Napoleon Dynamite. A couple of years ago, I was in Europe, and I went to Europe, I went to Dubai, and I went to Africa. And when I was in Africa, they're like, "You're Pedro." I'm like, "What?" "Thanks." Did you work for me? No. So that's cool. But to answer your question, after Napoleon, I would do 2 movies a year, and that's it. And then I'll do a play, because like nothing beats the stage, because that's where the work starts. I do have a movie coming out next month, and it's called 7 Cemeteries. It stars Danny Trejo and myself.
Woo!
So it goes to the Magnificent 7, but with dead people. I tried to change it up. I remember, like even after Napoleon Dynamite, I told my agent, I go, now that we did this, that I need to do something completely different. And then I ended up getting working on a TV show called ER, where bad things happened to me, and then it was just a heavy drama. I'm like, okay. So that's the only thing I'm allowed to say. So, but nevertheless, it's funny because I I started for many years, just doing stage work into theaters that sat about I don't know, 50 people, and I would have only 5 people as the audience, and like some of them were my family members. I'm like, oh great, they're gonna say boo. But I never thought that I'd be DJing to crowds this size and bigger, or doing theater with crowds this size and bigger. And I'm like, yeah, it became something of a reality, and I keep looking up and saying, how far can I go? So for me, if I could do a movie or play characters or DJ events that will surprise people or give them a glimpse to something new, then that's the goal and the key in life, right? To explore our lifetime. We only have 100 years, right? And the question is, what do you do in those 100 years? Go and enjoy it, go explore it, go discover it. So, yeah.
Hi. So my question is, I want to become an actor. My most recent musical was based on Napoleon Dynamite, and I played Uncle Rico. And I'm just wondering if you have any advice for me starting my acting career.
We always say we're living in the future, but the future is right now. Wait, the future is right now, but what? Pedro was so profound. We're living in the digital age, and in the digital age, the fact that you have iPhones and the Androids, and you could shoot your own movies now on your phone. The idea is get together with other actor friends and make short movies, because that's what Steven Spielberg did when he was your age. He was making short films with his friends, and he was like experimenting, trying to figure things out. Mind you, is anybody from Los Angeles here? Oh, my family. But yeah, I grew up in East LA. So, I grew up in East LA. I lived in Lincoln Heights and Boyle Heights. There weren't many people in the industry. I had no idea. I would watch the Brady Bunch. I would watch Little House on the Prairie, right? 21 Jump Street. Anybody watch 21 Jump Street? I grew up with that, and I would watch it and go, how did they do that? I want to do that. And my mom and dad put my brothers and me into theater, and it became something else. When I was in high school, I could play like You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, Oklahoma, Gabriel, I was like a big nerd, when you're a jet, all the way from the first thing you read to the last thing you did. So I did that. I studied and did theater, did plays. And I felt like maybe it is possible. Maybe it can be a reality. But it starts with what you're doing now. So when you guys are in your neighborhoods, get involved with church theater. Get involved with your school theater. If your school does not have a theater department, right? Create one, form one, start one. So, right, tell your stories. Again, how old are you?
14.
You're 14. Right? Jared has only 22. Not that far from you. But he was just like you, and I'm just like you. I am just another version of you.
Hi there.
Hey.
I ask this question to every celebrity I meet, be it autograph or autographs or panels. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Die Hard.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Donnie Darko. Yeah. Frank, but there's a moment I was at some premiere in LA, right? And I'm like crossing the street, and I'm standing waiting for the light to change. And I turned to my left, and I'm like, oh, it's Frank the Bunny! And then with the name, like, oh, you're Pedro! I'm like, dude, so he quoted one of the lines that he says in Donnie Darko, and we were crossing the street, and I was going bananas. And then he said to me one of the lines, they go, well, I hope you vote for me or something. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, this is what it feels like. Okay. So, yes.
My question is, what's like the weirdest or most like unusual encounter you've had with a fan?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say. God, this. Okay, so as I told some of you guys, I do DJ at rave events and at clubs, and it could get a little rambunctious. You're like, oh my Pedro, like, ooh, gremlins. So, get away. So, what is the weirdest? Okay. To be very honest with you guys, there are certain things I will not sign. There are certain body parts I will not sign. You know, but there was one person who, she did have Napoleon Dynamite's face on one shoulder and Pedro on the other. And she's like, I'm such a big fan. I'm like, yes, I know this. And she wanted us to put our tart's name and our autographs on her arms so she could tattoo it. And I'm like, you're gonna have to live like that the rest of your life. What do you want my name on it? So I tried to be modest and appreciate everyone as much as possible, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, I don't want to share some of the stalker stories, you know. Okay, I want to share one little story. Okay, only one story. Then I'm running out of time. So I was working on Employee of the Month, and we were shooting in Costco in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we were shooting night shoots, and when you're doing night shoots, you shoot from 8 p.m. to 8 o'clock in the morning before they open up. And so we were so exhausted. And there was some kind of radio competition where people can do some crazy things for celebrities and whatnot. And so that morning, when I went back to my room, I opened the door and I was just exhausted. I show up and there was somebody sleeping on my bed. And I went, oh! And I thought I had entered the wrong room. So I went downstairs and I talked to the manager, and the manager was like, oh yeah, well, your girlfriend, she's here. She just wanted to surprise you. And I said, cool. I didn't have a girlfriend. So I was like, what do I do? And you know, I was so exhausted. You go, okay. And I noticed there was a big bag. When I went back to the room, there was a big bag, and she had a bunch of Napoleon. She had the t-shirt, the DVD, the bobblehead, the action figure, the plush doll. And I'm like, wow, she's a hardcore fan. And go again and go, hi. Like the Joker, hi, how's it going? And so she explained to me why she was there, and that, you know, the radio, you know, told people that if they do something really crazy, they need proof that they were and had interaction with celebrity. So I signed all the things for her and kind of whisked her away. And go, there you go, great. So, you know, and needless to say, you know, she was happy. So I guess that's one of my crazy stories, you know. But nevertheless, it's again amazing to see the amount of people. I was at a premiere, and I met Sir Anthony Hopkins, and he said to me, he was like, yes, you are the one who played Pedro, and he had a vote for Pedro button, and I didn't know what to say. The first thing that popped out of my mouth was, "Don't eat me." So, and he gave me that look like, did you just say that? I'm like, crazy encounters like that because of this movie, it has charged its so. I hope that answers your question. Do we have one more question? Right? It better be good.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I looked at Trejo, he always seems like larger than life. Did it blow your mind that you're taller than him? And what was he like to work with?
Well, every single day I was hoping that he wouldn't chop me up. But remember, Dan Trejo has been, he's done over like 200 movies. So for me, even as actor, I did a movie with Matthew Lillard. I did a movie with Kelly Lutz. For me, being able to live my dream as an artist, as an actor, see, and certain I'm like, I'm not worthy. All these actors, Sean Astin, Elijah Wood, all these wonderful actors just telling great stories. So for me to be able to work with Dan Trejo and see what he does, and to live in the moment, I am grateful and I appreciate being able to be a part of telling the story with him. Because it's like kind of getting on a pirate ship and you're like, let's see where this takes us. And working with Machete, I mean, come on. Machete's alive. So for all of you guys, let me ask you guys this one question. Would you like to see a sequel? So I go on tour with Napoleon and Uncle Rico, John Peter and John Bryce, and we go all over the country, and even 20 years it holds so strong. People are dressed as the characters, people are dressed up as the llama. I was a family of 8, everybody was dressed up as Rex Kwando, and like, and the little 4-year-old was like, that'll be Sensei. I'm like, I can be yelled. So, I mean, everywhere and around the world, people are such big fans of this movie. It all started in Preston, Idaho. It all started here in Utah. So, I will tell you this, the world of Napoleon Dynamite has not closed yet.